Hi everyone, welcome to Kats Creations live on Sunday night, where we are launching into the Christmas series or Christmas season. So on Sundays we're going to dedicate our Sunday lives to Christmas through the month of September, and then it'll probably be full scale steam ahead with Christmas from that point on. So tonight we're doing an elf house wreath. Is about the best way I can put it. It's a sign that's shaped like a house that has an elf inside hiding behind the Christmas tree. And I believe the sign says, "This house is under elf watch." So this is a whimsical, fun type of a wreath. So you're going to see an awful lot of those colors popping through the wreath. We are doing this on a 14-inch dollar wreath frame. And I know the conversation is going to come up quite a bit. Where'd you get the sign? Craft Outlet. Look under Craft Outlet Wreath Shop. They're going to be hard to find. You can also try going to Etsy and trying to see if somebody's purchased them and reselling them through Etsy. That's also another option. I was only able to come across two. So tonight is the design debut for this sign for 2020. So the first thing we're going to do is wire up the 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. And I've already done the first 5 sections. We're going to grab one red, one white, and one green. I just like doing my wreath frames, color coordinating them with my pipe cleaners if possible. So the first thing we're going to do is in each of the 6 sections, they're all going to be wired exactly the same way. We are going to be using green for our inside too. So I use the 2 weld marks here and then find a middle point. And that's where you're going to put your first pipe cleaner, wiring together the 2 innermost rings, just like this. And then using this and the weld mark, I am going to, making sure I'm doing these correctly, red, white, green. You're going to wire together the outer 2 at a middle point for those 2, just like that. And then again on this side, using this and the weld, just kind of find a midway point. They're basically spaced out every 2 to 3 inches. And then that way it'll give you 12 to the outside, 6 to the inside for a grand total of 18. Now we are using what's called snowball mesh or snowdrift mesh. Depends on how it is labeled. This is red, white, and that lime colored green, but it comes in a metallic band. These are cut to 20-inch pieces, so we are going to ruffle these and place these inside. Move that to the side. We're going to put these in every single one of the 18 pipe cleaners. Now I do the finished edges towards the center, and then the cut edges will be towards the middle. This has to be cut with a rotary cutter because of the snowdrift mesh. It's a natural fiber, so it will burn in your wood burn, or it'll smoke in your wood burning tool and not cut. So there's the first one.
Feel free to like and share.
Yes. So if you're new here tonight, let us know. And also let us know where you're from. A lot of times crafting connections are made during Facebook Lives. So, and if you want to replicate this design once you get all of your supplies in, if you click the share button, it will go ahead and share this video to your page. So much easier to find than trying to sort through all my videos. Now, for people on YouTube, it's a little different for you because you're watching a replay from a Facebook Live from Sunday, September 12th of the year 2021. But if you'd like to know when we drop new videos, just hit the subscribe button in the upper right-hand corner. And you can feel free to comment. I do go back and read those comments and reply back to my YouTube subscribers as well.
Oh, that's awesome. She said my neighbor and I are wreath buddies. That's awesome.
That is really cool.
Can't get much better than that.
No.
And then the mesh is 10 inches wide There's 18 pieces, and each piece is cut at 20 inches.
Yes. And I'm removing the 6 inside when I get to them. So I am just taking them in the order that I come across them. And the 6 inside, I'm going to go ahead and remove the pipe cleaners because with our bow and our sign, we are not going to have room to put anything underneath those 6.
Thank you, Sharon. Sharon's in 50 stars. She's awesome.
Thank you, Sharon.
Ruth Boynton says newbie from Monticello, Wisconsin. So welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. So we're just kind of fluffing as we go. This will make for a very nice full wreath. Should be by the time we're done.
Sharon says I'm your 45-minute neighbor.
You're my 45-minute neighbor?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
She's the one up in Big Bear.
Is it only 45 minutes to Big Bear? It feels like it's a lot longer than that.
For us, I think it's only 45. The back way is only 45, 50 minutes.
The back way. Okay.
Joan said, hi guys, loving it so far.
I think this is going to be a super fun design. I was like trying to find literally everything I could think of. And of course, the hardest thing right now is finding all your Christmas ribbon. So, yeah, I'll be switching over. Well, I need to migrate Halloween out. I have a couple more orders that I'm working on. And then Halloween goes out. Fall gets moved. And then Christmas will pretty much fill up my entire seasonal ribbon rack. But it gives you the opportunity to see everything you have.
Karen, what city are you in again? What town are you in? Also, hi from Rhode Island.
Hi. Welcome from the East Coast.
That's already 9 now.
Yeah. So we'll try to move this tutorial
Well,
along.
they asked you doing pancake technique? Nope.
No.
Just
So
normal.
here's the difference between the pancake method. The pancake method basically has 6 less pipe cleaners on it. So you have 1 on the inside, and then they usually put 1 on the weld mark. So you're actually using less mesh if you do the pancake method. You're using 6 pieces on top, 6 pieces on the bottom, and you're basically hoping that you have enough deco mesh that it's thick enough to cover the frame. So I'm not a fan of it just because I like to see a fuller wreath base, but there definitely is a place for it. You just have to make sure that whatever mesh you're using has to be thick enough so you don't see that transparency. That's why we double up the bottom.
Al Lotto, greetings from Connecticut. I know your mom.
Greetings from, okay, how do you know my mom? I'm like, nobody knows my mom. Unless, I don't know.
Valerie McDonald says, are you putting the mesh on the inside or the outside? The finished edges are going to the inside and outside.
Yeah, so finished edges go here and to the outside. So if you notice, these are the cut edges. So when I go ahead and pull this through, the finished edges are going to go to the center and to the outside. So in here, it's right in here. Usually I associate lime green with Dr. Seuss, like the Christmas, the Grinch. But this was a nice change because you can kind of use all that same colors in those color palettes. You can totally tell these were the inside ones. The tighter the roll, the closer they were to the
I don't
end.
know if a bus driver. Are you a bus driver down in Orange County?
Well, she said Connecticut though,
I know.
right?
Well, she's from Connecticut.
Yeah, my mom.
Yeah.
My mom's Southern California, so she's been out here her whole life. No bus driver.
Yeah. Valley, yeah, she's putting one 20-inch ruffle in every single
Pipe cleaner. Yes. Yeah. And then this should create our Deco mesh base.
Ready, the SKU for the mesh is given to the private group. The private group gets the full material list of all material that Kat does on her lights.
Yeah, but you can just look it up on Craft Outlet's site. Just look for Snowdrift Mesh. Hoping that they're starting to get some of their Christmas supplies in. When I went, keep in mind that I purchased my Christmas stuff March, maybe. Is February, March is when I'm placing all my Christmas orders, just to make sure. God. And this year is going to be a little tough because a lot of our supplies are still sitting on container ships. So a lot of times what you're seeing at Craft Outlet and some of the supply places is maybe whatever's left from last year, if they still have it, or things that could be multi-purposed. So this doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas. Trying to think, you could technically use it for Cinco de Mayo. Kind of looks a little Cinco de Mayo-ish, kind of.
Then ask Kat, if you do crumbles on an 18-inch Dollar Tree reframe, is 20-inch length on your Deco mesh piece okay? Yeah, but you probably have to still put like 3 pipe cleaners in each section, right? Because there's more.
There are more sections. Yeah, I think on an 18-inch, it depends on what type of, is it a Dollar Tree 18-inch or is it some other company's 18-inch? And I think on...
It's 8 sections?
I think it's 7 sections with 3 pipe cleaners in each. Yeah. So normally when I do cruffles, however, I'm doing 25 to 30 inch because you want them long enough so you can get that curl and ruffle effect.
Yeah. So that would mean you'd have to make sure you have at least 2 rolls.
Yes. Definitely make sure of that.
Roxanne asked how many pipe cleaners are on the inside and outside.
So inside is 6, outside is 12, for a grand total of 18.
And Validation said I just love that sign.
Isn't that a cute sign?
Craft Outlet, Group Shop.
It's going to be hard to find. I think after I found these 2, I tried to go find a couple more just random places that, even in the private group, how we have searched high and low for every conceivable wreath supply vendor, these might be hard to find. 4, 5. But if you guys want the SKU numbers and item numbers and instructions and everything of where it all came from, if you want to join my private group, it is $17 a month. You get at least 8 tutorials. It's every Sunday and Monday. So some months there's a couple extra. I think in August we actually had 10, just the way the calendar worked. You also get discounts on your supplies, access to my entire library for the last 4 years for private groups, lives. Trying to think of what else. What else is... Anyway, if you're interested, you can go to KatsCreationsNMore.com, which is my website. If you pull it up, it's right on the top. It's just a purple header that says Kats Creations Private Group. And if you are unable to make it, the tutorials are always recorded, so you can watch them at any time. Okay, this finishes this off. Now we're going to go through and add our tails to the outside, which I already have pre-cut. And don't be fooled, I was, when I cut these. If you notice, these are complete opposites. So you have confetti with green stripe, and then you have confetti with red stripe. So we're alternating these colors. These are 14-inch pieces. Where'd they come from? The green with the red confetti with the green stripe is Craft Outlet, and the other one was from Hobby Lobby. It's in the iBox. I don't know if they still have this pattern with the red stripe. You'd have to check, because what I've been finding out is not all of the Hobby Lobby ribbons I purchased last year are still available this year. So this is going to give us a nice look, but with a different feel. Like when I grabbed these, I was like, oh, this one was fairly low, so I just picked up the next roll of ribbon and didn't realize that it was the complete opposite of the other one. So I thought, wow, what a really nice contrast for our ribbons. So we're just placing these in on the pipe cleaners. We're pulling them to the outside. And I like the Hobby Lobby texture one better. This feels thicker. And we're just fanning them to the outside. I just have to make sure I keep grabbing green stripe, red stripe, because they look the same. We're gonna elongate these to the outside. Keep on going all the way around. Red stripe. This would be super easy if all the pipe cleaners were ready, and everything laid perfectly flat. So you can just go in, insert your ribbons, and you're good. There we go. Have you guys started making Christmas yet? If you're a crafter, have you started on your Christmas decor yet? I'm just always curious. They are selling now, believe it or not. So a lot of people like to get their favorite, you know, if you have a favorite, you want to get in and get it before you can't get it anymore. What questions do you guys have? You're awful quiet. Steve's awful quiet.
Hi, Anna said 200 stars. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you, Anna. There's some crazy people outside here. Let me make sure this one is ready to go.
They said getting ready, have my totes and ribbons out and sorted. Since I've been buying my supplies before they are picked over.
Yes.
Good idea. Joan said I'm still working on Christmas and still fall.
Okay, so those are good.
Yeah, Lynn
Good
said I'm
choices.
doing Christmas for a 2-day craft show in November.
Wow.
November, it almost should be all Christmas, right?
Oh, November?
Maybe 1 or 2 fall stuff. Because you're getting into Christmas once you're in November.
Well, you have to think about it. When do you guys decorate for Christmas? Like here, for us, we have our Christmas decorations up before Thanksgiving. So you have to think along the lines of what are your clients likely to do as well. So if so, yeah, definitely all Christmas starting in November. Because you don't really sell an awful lot of Christmas in December. Even for people that are buying them as Christmas gifts, they're gonna pick something different. Because who wants to open a wreath for Christmas that you have to wait to use next year?
I think that's awesome. She said, yes, I have like 6 Christmas wreaths made and ready to sew.
Woohoo, you're ahead of the curve.
Rita said I've got 5 more fall grapevines and 3 Halloweens to get finished, and then I'll start on Christmas.
Okay. Yeah, because I think October is pretty much full. It's finishing up fall and working on Christmas. So by October, most of the people already have picked out their Halloween wreaths already.
I know Marlene, that's something the cat said today. She said, I'm making angels and Christmas and wreaths for Christmas. Going to Spain for 3 weeks. Wow, leaving tomorrow, hoping to find nice signs and ribbons.
Ooh, you're going to definitely have an edge over your competition, especially if you're finding signs and ribbons from another country. Nobody's going to be able to replicate your designs.
And guess what? If you have a business, you can write some of that stuff off.
You can write all of that off. It'd be a little hard to justify the entire Spain trip.
Yeah,
but yeah, you can definitely write off your ribbons and costs. Because I'm doing that all the time. Wherever we go, as a creative, you're always looking for signs or ribbons or something.
I'm going to do Christmas and welcome.
Yeah, so Christmas and every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Channing said I just finished up my Chanel pumpkins and doing a fall wreath as I'm watching you. Awesome.
Nice. Okay, so because we're doing elf theme, we're going to be doing elf ribbon. The elf ribbon is from Joann's last year, so it may come out again. So we're going to be doing this. These are cut to 18-inch strips, and I'm going to put this on every single one of the red stripe. So we're going to do half bows, which are bring them together about 2 inches from the top, meaning this is the top to where you have gathered about 2 inches. That's how it's going to lay in your pipe planer. 3. And I'm not cutting off my pipe planers just yet. I haven't decided.
Ruth asked a question earlier. The ribbon tails are only on the 12 outside cleaners?
Yes, because the sign and the bow are taking up all the real estate on the inside. So I'm going to trim down my pipe cleaners. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going around. I'm going to try to tag team my efforts. I have scatters and fillers. So these are from Hobby Lobby at 4th of July time. They're also out now. You can sometimes get them in red and white, sometimes red, sometimes white. So I'm going to be putting these, the red and the whites, on the end of my elf ribbon. So I'm going to show you as I spin this around. And then I'm going to come back and glue these on so they'll become a permanent addition. So there's that. So we have the little elf with our little balls there. So those are every other one. You want to make sure when you're putting your elf into your pipe cleaner that our elves are not upside down, but as you spin them around, they are right side up. So you want to make sure you can see his face. Even though on one side of the down ribbon, it's going to be elves going upside down.
Here's the thing for the gals too, if because the sign is in the shot, you can zoom in and take a photo of it so you see what it's like.
Oh yeah.
And Google even has that
I
thing
totally
where
forgot
you
about
can,
that.
yeah, you can just
If you go to Google Pics,
you could post it on there and it'll
tell you where you can
tell
find
you where
it,
you can find it, right.
or where it was sold, which is Craft Outlet will be one of them, but it'll probably say sold out. So yeah,
Right.
that is and I totally forget to do that sometimes when I'm looking for things to see, you know, if you're trying to buy something as a replacement. I forget about the Google Pic option, which is take a picture, go into Google Pics, and you can use it as a shopping finder. Never remembered that, especially when I need it.
It's hard to kind of see. It's hard to kind of see a close up of the elf ribbon.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in on
It
that?
only zooms in so close.
You can tilt the camera if you want. I think you can do a little, you know, forward. I have a counter between me. So I'm just cutting down the stubs of my pipe cleaners and putting little sparkly balls on the end, which are super simple. So when I'm done, what ends up happening is you remove your pipe cleaner, you put a little dab of glue on your bowl, and then you just push it back on your pipe cleaner, and then they're glued. So see how I can see where the hole is, and come in and put dab of glue, put it back on my ball, and that's how they become little permanent fixtures. Okay. Okay, flipping it over. Always making sure it's on the right. 2. Snip them down. So I'm snipping them down to about 1 inch. And then sometimes the scatters and fillers, or they call them base fillers, they come in 2 sizes. So there's usually a small and a large. So a lot of times I'll just alternate the sizes. I do a small and a large.
Patricia, we're doing good. He said, I have also been making cemetery florals.
Oh, nice.
Headstone styles and flower holders attached to the headstone. I have sold all the fall ones I made, and I'm going to do Christmas styles and florals. You know, that's a great niche.
Yes.
A lot of people don't do that, so that's a great niche for you to have.
Yes, absolutely. So there are those people who are looking to change out, you know, the saddles on the headstones for seasons as well. So you buy the same thing as a mailbox saddle. It works for mailbox swag.
Right.
And then you use those and you just decorate them. I personally don't do them. Why don't I? I think the boxes would be a little too big for me for here. Yeah. Ooh, drop that one. Let's do a small one.
Valerie, good question.
What's that?
She said, what are your thoughts on those small Dollar Tree candy cane wreath ones? We haven't.
I personally have not seen them. I'm a little disappointed because we went from 7 sections down to 4, which has really reduced what you can do with them. I'm excited to get one so I can experiment with it to see what can be done. I'm not sure if those are still going to be something you can join together and maybe make an oval type of a swag, but I don't know.
Or a heart, yeah.
It's going to be really tight with only 4 sections. Think about it. Your top of your cane becomes part of the bottom on the other, so you really only have 2 sections. I don't know. I will wait and see and then experiment. So I know a lot of people were super excited thinking that those were just going to pop back out again this year. They did, but in drastically reduced sizes. So I know not an awful lot of people are happy with that. Which again, creates demand, right? So the people who still have some of those left, if they want to sell them, since they're not being made anymore, they could technically charge a premium for them. Instead of just charging $1 to $3. Now they can charge a little bit more. Okay, so there's just the elf ribbon. Now what I'm going to do is on the other ones, this has a lot of ribbon in it, a lot of different kinds of ribbon. We are going to be alternating this lime green Merry Christmas ribbon along with this green and the red. Now the green and the red are going to go into half bows. So I'm going to show you what that looks like first, which is, these are all cut to 18-inch pieces. So it's just like what we did on the elves. So the same process, except you're going to do 2 together, just like so. And then you're going to crisscross them like this. So they make a double bow, but with alternating ends. And those are going to go every other one. And then with the Christmas, the Merry Christmas ones. So let me do this one. And on these ones, I'm not going to do the glitter balls. This is my choice right now. So I'm going to rotate just on the double bows because I don't want there to be confusion. So you're always going to have to right side one of your loops.
So I learned a lot from you, Kat.
Oh, thank
Valerie
you.
said I found snowman wreath ones at Dollar Tree and bought it for you.
Okay. Haven't done.
You haven't seen those either.
Nope.
She said, oh, that's cute. I've never seen that before.
Okay, so I'm going to spin this around so you can see what a double bow looks like. This is a double bow. So it has alternating colors, but then on the red side you have the 2 green, and then on the green side you have the 2 red. Try to get that to fade. So, and then on other sides of those, you're going to have your Merry Christmas ribbon. Same way. So these are going to go way over here. So there's going to be one here. And we'll do the same.
Mine is originally from Craft Outlet, but it'll be hard to find there. So try Wreath Shop, try Googling it. You try a lot of different places. Etsy.
Yeah, I think, you know, I don't even know if eBay will have anything. I'm all about trying to figure out, okay, well, where else can I go? Where else can you look? So this one, I'm going to fan this one out.
Don't know if Deco Exchange has it.
I don't know. It's going to be really hard to find because we're still waiting on 20. Let's see, they purchased this product way back at the beginning of the year. I think what they're saying they're starting to see is spring of 2020 product is just now hitting the stores. 2020. Yeah. From spring of 2020, they're just now getting that in, which means that for 2022, we won't have any issues. So it's going to be tough to try to find what it is that you're looking for. So this is where sometimes tapping into the retail stores might be a little bit beneficial for you. So this side, I'm doing the exact same thing. So we're going red. And usually what I like to do is just mix it up. So on that one, we have the red on the left. So now I'm going to go red.
Kathy Richardson said she's got hers from actually Deco Exchange a couple months ago.
See? Yeah. They're going to be hard to find. And I think most of the time when the suppliers get them, they only come in 12s. So maybe they ordered 2 dozen. Because you never know. If it's a new product, how do you know if it's going to be a success or a flop? So most people just go caution and just order 12. You know, they might keep a couple for themselves and then they'll sell the other 10. And you hope it sells because nobody wants to be stuck with inventory, Christmas inventory, rolling into the new year. But it's great for us because we can get those items on sale, possibly. Okay, there's that one. So using this.
Yeah, there's places close to me that are selling the Deco mesh and ribbon like 60 miles away. You just have to research.
Yeah. So I'm taking all of these. Sometimes I don't like how some of the inside ones just kind of get in my way. Meaning the inside ruffle mesh. Where I've ruffled it, the ruffles are on top of where I'm trying to place ribbons. So even on the Merry Christmas, I'm cutting them down, adding some little glitter balls, so those ones are just as festive. There's that one. Trying to find little glitter ones because I have some that are flat and some that are not. And now this one went a little high. There we go. So we can sit this one more flat. Then spinning it around, 2 more, same thing. We'll mix this one back up. So I think by the time I'm done on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 ribbons, I think is what we're using. 7 different colors. I was looking at how did I do that one? We'll switch them. Switch. It's getting tight and crowded. Just sometimes your adjoining ribbons need to be readjusted after you put these in. Here's another one of those circumstances where you have to readjust your ruffles so your ribbons lay flat. Okay, here we go. And the last one, the last Merry Christmas. This feels very Grinchy to me. So still popping red, white, and that lime green. Okay, there's that. Put 2 of our little scatters and fillers on here. Let's put a big one. And our little one. That'll be fun trying to remember out which ones I glued versus which ones I didn't. Okay. Just for me, look. I am going to hot glue one of my white glitter. And I'll show you right when I finish this. As I spin it around, since there's only 3 of them, and I'm limited on those anyway, I'm taking the white balls and putting them in between the red and the green, double bows. So they're sitting right here. And one more right here. So that it's just sitting right on top of the pipe cleaner. Just because it's red ribbon with just a touch of white and then green, so I just added enough of our white. So now we're all set. We've got to build our bow, add our sign, and then we can almost finish this design up. So with our ribbon, these are our colors. All these. Grab these. This way, these won't spill. Everything goes in rectangular square containers because it's easier to stack that way. Okay, so we are going to go like this, and I'm just stacking them in order how I'd like to see them. Yep, too many green. Let's mix these up. There we go. I think like that. Yeah, that works. Kind of. So these are the colors. So, Craft Outlet, Hobby Lobby. This was Joann's from 2018. Craft Outlet, Joann's, we said from 2020. Hobby Lobby, it's in the eye box. Same with this one, because they coordinate all of their ribbons. Same with this one. So look, this, what did I say? This and this. If you look at them, they're all in the eye box. But if you stack them up, those colors all go good together. So I need to make sure how I have them. I think it was like that. So that's, we're gonna do a 7 ribbon bow.
The inch-and-a-half Merry Christmas online is on Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
The Merry Christmas ribbon.
That was the Merry Christmas ribbon.
Yeah, okay. That was it from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. Hobby Lobby, look in their eye box if they still have it. Basically, if you go into Hobby Lobby and look for all the red with the lime green, it's all going to be in the same color-coded box. So we're going 10 inches in with our tails. We're going to flip, twist it, put our twist inside. This is the Bodabra. We're going to do a 5.5 inch tail. So I usually just estimate and then double check by bringing my Bodabra back to the 10 line. That way when I pull these out, I can make sure they line up where they're supposed to, which is right at 5.5 inches.
Maria, no, this is not a kit. Cat bought everything separately and started working on this at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Sue asked, how are the balls connected, please?
How are the balls connected? So, super simple. Pipe cleaner. They're little styrofoam balls with glue on them. So because these are pretty stiff wire, you just put them right inside the pipe cleaner just to put the hole in. And then when you pull them out, it kind of leaves a little bit of a fuzz from the fuzz stick. So you know where the hole is. You put your glue there and then you just put it back on. And then they're glued onto your pipe cleaners.
Just a tiny dab.
Yeah, just a little bit. Super simple. It's just a nice way of, you know, how can we dress up, what am I doing? How can we dress up the pipe cleaners so that they look just as nice as everything else? So, we need to take this back out to the 20, which is 10 inches. And on this ribbon, it's different. So it has wired edge on the outside and then wired on each side of the, whatchamacallit, not wired, it's just stitched or tacked, glued, whatever on the inside. So you have to be careful when you go to fluff or straighten this out that you don't separate the satin from that little glittered edge. It happens more often than you know. So it's just like doing that. So like if you were trying to fluff or straighten out your ribbon, look how easy that just separates. So just be careful when you're fluffing your bows or your ribbon tails that on ribbon that is done like that, that you're not pulling too hard on your ribbon so you separate. It's especially disheartening when, you know, it might have been the last of your remnant of ribbon and you can't really go back in to replace that. So, I forgot to show you guys how to dovetail. So, this one's going to be 9.5 inches. So, we're going to gather and then twist. This is our 9.5 inch, and we're doing 5-inch loops. So it should come down 1/2 inch, but always measure to double check. Same thing. That's probably going to be just enough. Don't want to grab it from the tape side and pull up because I know it'll separate my ribbon. But let me see. I don't think it'll be enough. I think it'll be enough for my loop, but not enough for my tail.
Well, maybe showing up your other loop a little bit.
No, don't. This is why you always buy 2. Always buy 2 of everything. Number 1, you'll always have enough for at least 1, but you just never know. You can pull out your ribbon and find out you don't have enough, or you have a really bad splice right in the middle of it that you can't do anything with. And that cuts into, you know, your calculations on how much you would need. So we'll just do this one once again. Okay, so 9.5 inches.
Thank you, Marilyn. She said, I haven't watched you in a while. I always enjoy your lives.
Oh, thanks for joining us on Christmas. Wish we could have Christmas music on, but we can't. We could technically, but we couldn't.
No.
Yeah, it's not licensed, right? Not licensed for home use. Okay, so this one's going to be a 5. Make sure this one's right at 5. Bring it back. Pull it in until you have your 5.
Once again, for those gals who are new, feel free to like and actually share it, so it shares it to your page, so it's easier for you to find it and watch.
So 9.5. So here's how you dovetail. You're going to take your wired edges. You're going to bring them together. You're going to cut from the folded edge to your wired point. And then depending upon how deep you want that V to be will determine how far up on that fold you decide to start your cut. But now that's all there. Now the thing I like about Hobby Lobby is most of their ribbon, so always check their ribbon lengths, but most of them are a full 30 feet or 10 yards, which is perfect for what you need.
And the color matching ones for the seasons are the same letter. They're all like,
yeah, it takes the guesswork out of it for you. So this one's going to be 9 inches. And this will be 4.5 inch loop. So this is going to have a really pretty full bow. But we still want to double check all your measurements, because this is how, if you're struggling with bow making, sometimes it's because one of your loops is off. Sometimes the size of your tail is one's longer than the other. So if you take the time to measure it, it's like cooking without looking at the measurements. Well, this looks like it probably takes a couple legs.
Well, once you've been cooking for years and years and years,
yeah, you can do it. There's some people who go, well, I just kind of eyeball it. Like, that doesn't help me.
Kathy, no, not all the ribbons from Hobby Lobby. The 2.5 inch red confetti with the green stripe is from Craft Outlet. And then the 1.5 red with elf ribbon is actually from Joann's. And the other 1.5 lime green with the swirls is from Joann's. And so is the 1.5 red with swirls from Joann's.
Yeah, there's a whole, and then there's these ones that I'm incorporating in that, like this is called Scribbles and Doodles, and this is from Craft Outlet. So, yeah, not making it easy for you guys. So these are both 4.5 inches, so I'm just using the bottom loop that's already measured for me to, you know, put your fingers in and give it a pull. But you still need to measure your tail length, and in this case it's 8.5 inches with another, it's a 4.5 inch loop, just like the one below it. So the third and fourth ribbon are both loop sized exactly the same. And then we're doing the mirror, no, we're doing this one, the swirls. And this is from Joann's 2020. So it's funny, 2019 was the green swirl, and then 2020, a year later, was the red. So now this will be a 4-inch loop with a 8-inch tail. That here. that one's done. I was looking for my pins. Trying to get them in. Okay. Then the Merry Christmas, again, like Steve was saying, is Hobby Lobby in their iBox. I know most people never realize that the letters on the boxes are to help you color coordinate your ribbon. So this is going to be a 7.5 inch tail. And we're going to do a 4 inch loop. So we're going to go exactly like the one we just did. Right here. And of course this one has the Merry Christmas font. So a little bit different because we want to make sure the Merry Christmas stays the same direction. So this one's a little different. Only if it's written horizontally and you want to keep the same horizontal pattern. So if we go 7.5 inches, you're going to have to build this one outside in your hand and then put it in your bow dabro. So 7.5 inch tail, you're going to put it in your right hand, transfer it to your left. And then this goes back to your finish line or your starting point. And because this is going to be a 4 inch loop, we want 8 inches out. You're going to measure, put them together, again, transfer left to right. Pull this out. Another 8 inches, left to right. And then we measure our 7.5 inches, which is at the end of the Merry Christmas. This whole thing. Now, if we put it in here, all the font is the same direction without having to cut and splice your ribbon.
As I said, I am an eyeball recipe cook. I've been at it for 48 years.
See? You already know. So I'm just going to dovetail that one I could not do because I was holding everything in my hand. And then the last one is our confetti ribbon, which again is in the iBox at Hobby Lobby. It again is pressed. So you have the wire edge here, but it's also wired edges separate from your color. Again, be careful when you're straightening or fluffing that this does not separate on you.
Like I said, I never really thought that lime green was really a Christmas color. It is when you mix it with red.
It is.
Especially with elves and like a
Think
Grinch.
Grinch. Yeah, it's like Grinch colors. So it's more of a like a whimsical fun color. So we're going to do 7 inches on this last one with a 3.5 inch loop to finish this off.
Ruth, ask you a question. Is there a formula you use for your ribbons and tails?
Most of the time, yeah. And it's just based on my preference of what I want the end product to look like. So most of the time, I always do 14 inch tails. Again, it just...
2.5 inch,
yeah, the 2.5 inch ribbon will generally be 14 inch tails. Half bows and double bows will always be 18 inches. And then my ribbon formula that I made for the size bow I like, except for this one, it's kind of like that standard formula. So yeah. Above all, I always say there's no cut and dry. It's as the creative designer, you decide what you like. Some people like their ribbon tails to stick out. Some people don't. So go with what works for you.
She'll really go through it if you like decide to join her pro group. She'll really go over. There's lots of videos on bow making and tails and how she does everything.
This really has like a pile of glitter, which I'm going to attempt to scoot off. Which, because now it'll be on my hands and I'll inadvertently probably go to touch my face, and then you end up going out afterwards and you have a ton of glitter everywhere. So, and people will say, oh, you have glitter on your cheeks. You're like, it's in my blush. Comes in my blush. So we're going to take this whole thing like a triple decker club sandwich. So we're going to take our ribbon and we are just going to twist the stack about 5 times. Just like that. Put this to the side, get my fluff board. AKA it's just an 18 by 24 inch by 3/4 inch cutting board. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's if you don't have someone who can cut it down for you, or don't spend the money on a cutting board. It's just too pricey. When you can go into Lowe's or Home Depot, whoever your hardware supplier is, they usually have them pre-cut in 24 by 24 by 1 inch thick pieces. Get a 1.5 to 2 inch C-hook, sometimes an inch. You just screw them into your board and you're good to go. And the only reason I fluff on a board and not this is I need something to hold my ribbon in place while I separate, which is why you have a little C-hook. So it just keeps my ribbon from moving. It goes left or right, but that's about it. Now from here, you're just separating your tails from your loops. So again, we have to be careful because this ribbon could separate. So we have a loop and a tail. Opposite side, we are going to go a tail and a loop. So they should be directly across from each other. Then you're going to do the opposite. So we did loop and tail, right? Or tail and loop. So we're going to go loop and tail. Go back over to the other side. Here's our tail, and here's my loop. So what it's going to be doing as we unfold this is alternating the colors all the way down. So from here, we're going to go separate. Here we're following the same pattern, loop and tail. Other side, here's my tail, here's my loop. And then from here, loop and tail. Other side, here's my loop, here's my tail. Go back up to the top. If you want to mix them up a little bit, you can. But here's red, loop and tail.
That's awesome, Sue. She said the board tip is so awesome. I made mine, as you said. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I like the weight too, having it, you know, weighted down by having a fairly heavy piece of wood. Just kind of keeps everything from moving. And
Diana, for the wreath, there was 18 pipe cleaners total.
There's that
You
one.
can always go back, watch the replay. It'll be posted after this.
There we go.
6 on the inside, 12 on the outside.
So we are fluffing. Should be these two. It's however you want to fluff and move your ribbons and your tails around. And of course, now that I'm sitting here thinking this and making it look like a really beautiful bow, I'm gonna end up redoing it anyway. Not the whole bow, but I'll show you what it looks like once you figure it all out. And you get everything all opened up. It looks all pretty. Because you gotta get the bottom ones up. Here's this one. Put your fingers in them and lift them. That's why we invest in wide ribbon, is so everything can look so pretty. Ta-da! There you go. Okay. So sadly, well, maybe not. Maybe we'll, let's see if we don't have to. Because the house sign, you don't want to have your bow up here and then it impacts your ability to see that it's a house-shaped sign. Normally, if I hang the bow at the bottom, I bring all the tails down. So we will wait and see. And if so, I'll just make a readjustment when it's on the wreath. That's what happens when it gets hung up. Okay, so now we are going to prep our sign, which is just cut the rope off the side. You're going to need 2 pipe cleaners. I will use white. Bend them into U shapes. Move this off to the side. And we are going to staple this to the edges of the little roof line. Since our sign is a 1/4 inch sign, I'm using 1/4 inch staples to hold my pipe cleaners on. Just like so. We just give it a twist so we don't pull them all the way through. There goes all my glitter, but the sign's got glitter on it anyway. We are going to position our sign up on top. I kind of want my double bows to be featured. So I'm gonna move this around so I can see my double bows, so they're not hidden by the bow. So that's that bow. I also have a little elf, but I haven't yet quite figured out where I want to put him. So we've been having this debate, Hobby Lobby, by the way. So we have to cut his little tag off, cut his little plush sign that says, do not remove unless you're the owner, blah, 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 by federal law, whatever. So same elf. If you look at the elf inside the house, he has a green hat just like this one. He does pose, so you can pose him. But I haven't decided. I might want to put him on the other side. I think that's going to work so that you see the sign, you see the other elf. It doesn't impact my sign at all. You can cross its legs. And if I do this right, our bow should sit nicely here. We don't want it too far on the bottom so that it falls down below the bow. So let's put the sign in first, which is going to go a little higher. Kind of fits right where I removed my inner pipe cleaners, by the way. So I'm just using the vacancies provided by them. So I'm going to push this one down. 3, 4, 5. Everything's 5s. Swish it. We're going to do the same thing on this side, right where my pipe cleaners are. There's one. I want to make sure some of my mesh is out from underneath that. Just like that. Okay. Still want to know that it's house shape. Okay. We are going to wire our elf so he can sit on the side. So he just needs a small bit of wire. I prefer 22 gauge wire. And then all we're going to do, it almost seems barbaric. You can put it around his neck if you want. I'm just going right underneath his little felt outfit. Just so his head will move. Even his hat is wired. So these are cute additions that Hobby Lobby has. We're gonna position him kind of. Trying to get that up there. Trying to figure out where I want him closer. And his hands are wired too. So he is going to find a happy home down here. Wired in. I always try, if I'm using plush or any type of items that could technically be removed and used, that I don't ruin them in case you want to remove it off the wreath and use it for something else.
Linda, she said your bows look like they should be on presents.
It's fun to put them on your presents when you get them all down. Yeah, they're fun to make.
Rita said, I have those elves. Good.
See? So you can make an adorable little wreath. I'm just kind of positioning his little hat where I want his hat to go. Just kind of all my devastation in putting my sign. Making sure all my bows are all put back together. Okay. There we go. He's posable. Posable elf. And then we'll go ahead and put our bow on. Kind of like this side. So this is going to go right about here. So you always figure out placement and then figure out a way to work all that pipe cleaner back down into your frame. Don't pull it too hard. And I'm going to adjust the bow once I kind of get it on here so that I can readjust it. If any of your mesh is in the way that's kind of popping your bow up, you can move that off to the side. Remember, it's your design, so move everything the way you'd like it. So if you want to bring your tails down to the bottom, like I'm taking a lot of the meatier, the larger tails and moving them to the bottom. That's my adjustment. On my ribbons, I'm kind of going around the door a bit. Making sure there's some fluff right here. I'm going to tuck it up underneath so my ribbon lays a little bit flat. More flat, I should say. Trying to get my Merry Christmas to lay where I want it to lay. I'm trying to pull a little loop off to the side. Always lots of fiddling, fluffing, and let's see. I'm just going to put one red glitter ball right in the center here, and we're done. Just like that. Well, you guys are.
Yeah.
I still have to go back and glue all my little glue pieces on, or all my little balls. I've got to glue them all back on my wreath so they become permanent. This wreath is available on my website. Even though I didn't know what it would look like, you can look for the sign if you're interested in purchasing it. Go ahead and fluff these. Make sure I didn't smash anymore. And then we put it up on the door.
Lots of likes and loves. Thank you, gals.
So this is a 36-inch door. This is what it looks like on an outside door. So move this and replace it with this one. Okay. So now, wow, you have a little bit of Christmas fun. And there you go. And there you have it. Just like that. and get them to lay where I want them to stay. There you go. It's all set. It's all ready. It was so much fun to make. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Private group members gave me till tomorrow to get the materials list up so that if you guys are looking to replicate it, you have all of your information handy. This will automatically go into replay status the minute we are done. Do you guys have any other questions I could possibly answer for you?
So adorable, great job, Kat. You do such a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Like I said, I looked at your website last night. Very nice.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we did. We're working. It's a work in progress. We're revising the whole thing, trying to make it easier and more functional, and kind of getting a little seasonal fix going on so it doesn't just look blah. So, all right. Well, you guys all have a great week, and I will talk to you next Friday at 5. So I hope to see you then. Bye, everyone.